And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rock and Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rock and Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour weekly get-together where we bring you the biggest news from around the world, some hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. Guys, I'm sorry I got on a little late. I was in the midst of getting my butt kicked in Madden 26. Great. We're a little bit of a league going here. Me, Jeff, Frankie Moulet, and Frank Jeffrey. And I had to play my game tonight, and I got my butt kicked, but it was a good game, a lot of fun. And it's always a pleasure to hang with the boys, even if it's virtually. So, but anyway, we got a big show tonight. Welcome to Thursday night, October the 23rd in the year of our good Lord, 2025. Hope you guys have had a great week, and I look forward to spend a little time with you. Big news. Let's see. We got a lot of stuff tonight. Iron Maiden, they announced their tour for next year, coming through with Megadeth and Anthrax. Kind of an interesting thing. I think it's next September, but tickets are on sale next Friday. We already had we talked about Rush. We got a lot of Giants and Jets tonight. We got some NFL news and notes. We got little Dave Ellefson. We got Iron Maiden documentaries. Super Bowl landing on President's Weekend, and a big gambling scandal that we're going to get to. So waiting for Jeff to pop up. He's I guess, in the midst of having a late dinner. I hope you guys have had a good week. I've had an interesting one, as always, around here in Hard Rock and Sports Land. And look forward to spending a little time with you guys. Wearing my Spinal Tap shirt tonight. Got the tap working. Frankie Katz, Broncos in fantasy football. Frankie, got to tell you, what a disappointing game. I'm Sunday night. I was hanging myself. Today, I'm looking at the silver lining. So we'll get into a little bit more with Jeff, but I won't say it was a great game because I don't know. From a Giant perspective, it was great for 3 quarters. From your perspective, it was great for the final quarter when it counted. Listen, I could say the Giants should have won. Yep, they should have. They didn't, and the better team won. I would just say from a silver lining standpoint, I was thrilled with the way my team played up until obviously the last quarter. I don't like the fact that we go into the shell, which a lot of teams do. Too many points given up, and we should have won. I mean, that's just the bottom line. They had every opportunity to win, even with 30-something seconds left. There's no way in the world a good team allows a touchdown, points in that spot, and we did. So, but silver linings, I love the way Jackson Dart played. I was thrilled with the way the offensive line played for 3 quarters and better. They shut down a really good defense, and it's silver linings time for me. The team gets better. There's some changes I want to see. I don't like the defensive coordinator. I know the players came to his defense. I don't like his strategy. I don't like, you got burnt in the Dallas game. 25 seconds left. You gave up 40 yards, kicked a field goal. You lost the game. You got to learn. And the Giants, I don't know what it was. And believe me, the Broncos played much better, much more like themselves in the fourth quarter. But there's no way in the world you give up 33 points, scoring 5 straight drives after you completely dominated. The coach took his foot off the gas. Now, Dart's interception killed them. That was huge in that spot. Anything there, if you punt in that spot, the game is over. There's just no way in the world. To give up that pass there, short field, the whole bit, absolutely killed them. But, again, I'm going silver linings here. They played exceptional football. They've shown against the Eagles, against the Cowboys, against the Chiefs for the most part, against now the Broncos, that the Giants could play good football against good football teams. So, again, I'll say it. Before the season, I said I don't care about the wins. I don't care wins and losses. I want them to be respectable in every game. And they were. They have been respectable in every game. And, we should be 4-3 at this point. We're not. So that's fine. But let's Frankie, I thought your team never adjusted, and they were almost surprised at how well the Giants played. I think that's how I looked at it. They just kept saying, this ain't the Giants. This ain't the Giants. Where's the Giants? And I thought they just didn't have answers until the fourth quarter. And then I don't know if the Giants, I didn't notice them not rushing the quarterback or playing differently, but the Broncos woke up in the fourth quarter and they played an exceptional fourth quarter. And everything fell their way, from the missed extra points, Dart's interception, just it couldn't have went worse for the Giants and better for them. And even still, with 30 seconds left, you should win that game. That's not a game you should lose. I'm in a quandary as a Giant fan about the future of Brian Daboll, because I think Dable's done a great job with quarterbacks. I mean, look at, you can say what you want about Daniel Jones as a Giant quarterback, but Daniel Jones is in the MVP category right now for the Colts. He changed Tommy DeVito from a guy who should have been selling pizza slices to an actually backup quarterback in this league. And so far, Jackson Dart looks like the real thing. So, I'm torn because they don't want to see another regime come in here and start all over again and another coordinator and whatever. So I am very torn, but the defensive coordinator's got to go. Anyway, so Jeff just popped up. Let's get him on. Let's get the show started. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got Iron Maiden stuff. We got Dave Ellison stuff. We got Jets, putrid, Giants, silver linings. We got a little bit of NFL stuff, and we'll see. Maybe the show might end a few minutes early, but you never know how it's going to go till we get there. So let me get the show started by bringing on my buddy, Mr. Jeff Black Sabbath Talwitzki. God, I hope he's there. He's not there. Jeff. Hello. Hefe. I'm even wearing my Tab shirt for you. Jeff. He's all frozen up. Frank, Jeff. Hefe. Yo, Hefe. I'm leaving you up on the screen. Jeffy. I can't get him up there. Again, I'm going to keep talking until he figures it out. So again, a troubling game. As a Giant fan, dude, I was screaming in my house. I am the ultimate sideline coach. I'm sitting on the sideline here in my house, and I am yelling and screaming. My wife is saying, all right, there's Monday to Saturday Tommy voice, and then there's Sunday Tommy voice. And I was screaming. She was to the point where she was afraid that the neighbor downstairs thought we were having a domestic issue. I was yelling and screaming and cursing and calling names. And it's very frustrating because for years, it's the opposite. You look putrid, and by the second half, you're done and you're running. And this time, like, you're watching these games and you're saying, the NFC East ain't great. The Eagles aren't great. The Cowboys aren't great. Washington sucks. The Giants suck at this point, but they could be 2 games better. They should have beaten the Cowboys. They should have won Sunday. They didn't. So their record's 2-5. But you could be 3-4, 4-3 at this point, and talking about a playoff spot. It's still not out of reach, but boy, oh boy, it's frustrating. But boy, oh boy, like I said, silver linings for me. The silver lining is, hold on, Jeff's texting me, I think. Okay. So, the silver lining is we got a quarterback. I love Scadaboo. I think the offensive line is playing great. The defense has its moments. Now, listen, we're intercepting balls. We are sacking quarterbacks. We're playing good defense except for the fourth quarter. So whatever we're doing in the first, the second, and third quarter, we need to keep doing it. 19-0 in the fourth quarter with about 8 minutes to go. The game should have been over. And we'll see. But as a Giant fan, I am absolutely thrilled that this team looks the way it does. So good job by Daboll. Good job by Shane. I don't want them to fire. I was screaming. I put it on the group with Frankie and Jeff and Matt that I wanted to fire Daboll because you can't lose a game like that. That's how you lose the locker room. That's how the guys quit on you, because they get frustrated. But I think this team knows it's on the cusp of winning. So I'm thrilled and excited for this team. I'm just killing some time, guys, so let's see if Jeff pops up. But as a Giant fan, that's a frustrating loss. We've been through so much the last few years. We haven't had a lot to root for. But if you can say anything you want. Joe Shane has had a great few years of drafts. There's a lot of guys, they had a tough week, Drew Phillips, but he's been a pretty good player. Newbin's been a good player. Neighbors, obviously, now with getting Dart and sneaking back into at 25 and getting Dart as your quarterback after getting Abdul Carter, who's been really good. The sacks haven't been there, but he's getting the pressures. He's getting it. It'll happen for him. Scadaboo in the 4th round has been a godsend. He's really built this team into something. So I give Jones Shane credit. But it's been it's been a lot of fun this year, even minus the losses. I'm sorry, even minus the wins. Watching Giant games is back to being fun. It ain't fun to lose. It ain't fun to lose like that. I'll grant you. But it's still you feel like every week there's a chance. Like, I'm not looking at this week like the Giants have no chance. I'm not saying they go into Philly and win, but what I'll say is I think there's a chance that this is a football game. I don't think the Eagles are tremendously better. I don't know the Giants are going to go in and beat them like they did 2 weeks ago in the Meadowlands. But I would hope that the Giants will put on a show and be in there in the fourth quarter and a play or two wins it. Now, you're playing with rookie quarterback. You're playing without your best wide receiver. There's a lot of things that are against them. And you're always kind of going, when's the next bad play going to happen? But for the most part, this kid Dart, he makes the right plays. Yes, terrible pass, terrible interception, worst time, and he'll learn. Hopefully the next time that comes up, he eats the ball and he lives to play another down. Again, in that spot, a punt is just as good as a first down. I know you say, first down, I got it. But if you run that play and then you run another play and then you punt, you've taken that much more time off the clock and there's less chance for these guys to come back and beat you. I love the 2-minute drive. Now, I didn't love the penalty. I did not think that the Bronco that warranted an interference in the end zone for the Giants to wind up at the 1-yard line. I'm not giving it back. It happens against everybody. But I would tell you, I thought that was a lucky play, But they were in scoring range at that point. There wasn't a Hail Mary. That was, they were down to 20-something yard line. Good job by Dart and the offense and Dable's play and Kafka. It was a nice job. So, I'm just saying I believe that the Giants are on the right track. I think Shane has done a good job in building a team. You'll wonder what, Frank? Oh, about the interference. Yeah. In theory, it might fit the bill, but there's no way in the world in that situation that they should have called that as an interference. There was a lot worse going on before that. Yeah, but there was a lot worse going on before that. As a fan, you go, all right, I'll take it. But being realistic, that wasn't a pass interference. Yeah, there was a lot of hands going on. To me, in that spot, unless you're grossly interfering, you're just tearing at the guy, you keep the flags in your pocket. Inside 2 minutes in a close game, I don't want flags dictating it, but I don't want a lack of flags dictating it either. If a guy gets out there and he's wide open or he has an absolute opportunity to make a catch and a guy interferes, throw the flag. But it can't be ticky-tack. That was a ticky-tack play, and I don't like. Even as a Giant fan, and we got the benefit of the calling out, or took the win, and I would have celebrated. I'm still going to tell you that was if that happened to the Giants, I'd be screaming about it. So to be fair, but again, minute 50, one timeout. They march down the field and they score a touchdown. Now people will say, I heard people say, oh well, he should have took a knee and then scored a play later, because you know what, guys, you score a touchdown when you can. And when you score a touchdown with 30 seconds left in the game and the other team has no timeouts, you almost got to go, all right, game's over. The only thing you hope for at that point is the kicker kicks it down the middle of the field and doesn't kick it out of bounds where they're starting at the 40. They start at the 20-something yard line. That game should have been one pass, one spike, and a Hail Mary. But somehow, now I've since read that the pass wasn't even intended for Mims. It was Sutton who was supposed to get it, and he wildly overthrew it, and Mims just happened to be standing there. Either way, nobody should be open at that point. You're playing 8 defenders. If it's the luckiest pass in the world, if it's a tip drill, there's 8 guys covering 3 or 4 guys. Everybody's double teamed. Nobody should be open like that to catch a pass. Nobody. All right. And it didn't happen once. It happened 3 times on the drive, to get into a nice, comfortable field goal range. So, shame on us for not covering it. Shame on the Giants for bad defense. But I'm going silver linings tonight, and I'm saying I'm thrilled that my Giants went into Denver, a place they don't normally play well, on the road against what people think is the best defense in the league, or one of them, with a really good offense, although for 3 quarters and the Jet game, not necessarily so great. But, a good team, a team that could easily be representing that conference in the Super Bowl. I'll give the Giants a pat on the back. Good job for the Giants. I know the pass was for him. I was told, Frank, that it was overthrown Sutton. I didn't go back and look at any replays of it, obviously, but what I read today and I heard today was that it was an overthrow of Sutton and ball basically landed in Mims's lap. So either way, heck of a throw, heck of a play, and it worked. So we'll regroup. You got the Eagles this week. Go put on a good showing. Again, it ain't about wins and losses. It's about building for next year. And I'll tell you right now, Giants build on what they have. I would tell you they are the team to be worried about in the future. It ain't there yet, but I like the way it looks. All right, Hard Rockin' Sports at 7:25. Jeff's having a hard time getting on tonight. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. I'm going to move on to let's see, the Dolphins. Let me talk about the Dolphins before Jay gets back. They are. It is a fun team. Again, I could do without some of the back flipping and all that. It's not for me. It's a young team. You got to hope at some point they grab the kids and say, all right, tone it down. Pretend you've been there before. But they are a fun team. They got some talent. They're pretty stacked at tight end. They need to get another wide receiver opposite Neighbors next year, a guy who scares somebody. I like Wandell in the slot. I like their tight ends. And the offensive line is getting better and better and better, and we'll probably short up right tackle hopefully next year. And again, we're looking good. So let's move on. I want to talk a little bit. I got it, Frank. I understand. I want to talk a little bit about the Dolphins. The Dolphins may be the most dysfunctional. Now, the Jets are probably the worst team in the league, but the Dolphins are a close second, and they're the most dysfunctional. Now, how Stephen Ross has not fired Mike McDaniels. First off, he wears capris. All right. And so does Aaron Glenn. So he may get fired for that too. But he's a terrible coach. He's weird. I think the offensive genius thing is a little overrated. But let's say maybe he's just, again, we talked about it here a few times. Some guys are the CEO of a company, and some guys are the second lieutenants. Some guys are the project managers. So Mike McDaniel might be a great offensive coordinator, but maybe he's not the CEO. Maybe he's not the guy who could bring the whole thing together. They are dysfunctional. The quarterback talks about the team. One wide receiver has issues with the team. The quarterback is terrible. I mean, I said this coming out of college that I thought Tua was terrible. I thought he wound up in an offense that maybe suited him and could hide his deficiencies, but that was only the case for a year or so. Now with, a chain, Waddle, Hill, I mean, I know Hill's out, but, they have scared nobody for the last couple of years. And right now, that is a dysfunctional team. Now, I don't believe in firing anybody during the season as a football coach. It's a waste of time. You're not changing anything, any of the systems. You're not fixing it. But if there is anybody on that staff that's got a half a brain, maybe he's a veteran coach, maybe they've coached, somewhere down the line. I don't know their staff as well. It might be well to rid themselves of that and bring in somebody who's got a little discipline, because that team is completely out of control. And they are, they should have taken another step. And, you've watched the rise, the fall, and now the rise again of the New England Patriots. The Patriots have their coach, they have their quarterback, and they're building a pretty good team there. The Bills are still the Bills. They haven't taken that step back yet. And the Jets are putrid. But the Dolphins, I thought, with the team that they had built a couple years ago, that they were ready to take that next step. And let me see, Jeff popped up. Let me see if he's on. Jeff?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, Jeff. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Almost. I can hear you. Yep.
I'm almost there.
All right, let's let it run and see what happens. Let's see what happens. In the meantime, yeah, I think that in this situation, the Dolphins need to change their their head coach and move on. I would also move on in quarterback. They've got a couple guys on the bench. I like Ewers. Give him a shot. But that's a franchise that needs to get blown up, trade away all the human waste, fire the coach, and rebuild, because they are now at least number 3 in that division, and it's a long way off from 3. And 4 is putrid, but they may be in better shape than you. So that's a tough one. Jeff, how you doing over there? Now you're frozen completely. But let's leave him up, see what happens. So yeah, I again, very, very disappointing for my Miami Dolphin friends like Frank Jeffrey, and even for myself. When I'm in Florida, I got my Marino jersey. You know, I'll strut around a little bit with my Danny Dan Marino shirt and have some fun. I would go to some games down there when I move there eventually. But anyway, right now, let's move on. Let's see. Hopefully, Jeff will pop up and be ready to go soon. Okay, and we might rehash this when Jeff comes up if he gets on. So don't get on me if I do that. By the way, Colts might be the most surprising team in the league this year. Now, again, Steelers are playing well. There's a few teams that are actually playing good football right now that you would not like. If you'd have thought at this point that the Eagles and the Cowboys. I'm just going to bring up the schedule, right? The NFL.com. Jeff popped off again. We'll see if he gets back. Yes. Let me get this. Let me get up the team standings. So obviously, New England being in first place in the East is a bit of a surprise. Steelers at 4-2 is a bit of a surprise. More surprising is the Ravens at 1-5. Colts at 6-1, completely a surprise. Broncos leading the division at 5-2 is a bit of a surprise, but not unheard of. Chiefs at 4-3, Chargers at 4-3, both surprises to me. Again, the NFC East, a little surprising. Even though the Eagles are 5-2, I don't think they're a great football team. The North, Green Bay's got Detroit's 5 with 2 losses. Bears are playing good football. That's, again, I said before the season, that might be the best division. Tampa at 5-2, very surprising. Carolina at 4-3, extremely surprising. Everybody but the Cardinals are 5-2 in the West. But the Colts at 6-1, they have a net differential of points of 92. I think right now that leads the NFL. Yeah, they are they are plus 92 in total points. They have scored 232 and only lit up 140. That is what you call a complete reclamation project. I mean, right quarterback in the right system, and Jonathan Taylor is playing great football right now. And it's hard to argue. They may be the best team in football. Now, listen, at 6-1, I'm not proclaiming Super Bowl. The tires could come off at any point. Daniel Jones gets hurt like he has in the past. A lot of things can go wrong. But he's playing MVP caliber football. Their one loss was a fluke. That team right now, if it stays healthy and keeps playing the way they are, yeah, they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. They might not be ready this year. I don't know. But boy, oh boy, it's a lot of fun to watch. And all I'll say is, Frankie, if you're out there, Frankie, all I'm going to say is, are you ready to say you were wrong about Danny Dimes? I told you Danny Dimes is a good quarterback. I told you that maybe it's being on the Giants. I told you Danny Jones. I told you Danny Dimes. I told you. That's all I could say. Daniel Jones is playing MVP caliber football at this point in time. Let's see if it lasts. But it's a fun story, and they've played really well, and it's an interesting football season. You expect the Ravens to be great. They're not. The Bills are pedestrian. The Eagles are pedestrian. They're good teams, but they're not great teams. The Bengals, again, should be a great team. They're not. The Chiefs are a good team. They'll win games, especially with the referees helping, but they're not great. who are the great teams in the NFL right now? I don't know. I mean, the Lions lost again. The Lions are 5-2. The Tampa Bay. So right now it's Tampa. It's Detroit. I'll put the Eagles in there. I'm not crazy about Frisco, Seattle, or the Rams at this point, but good teams. Good for you. And then the other, and then the AFC, Denver's a good team. Indy's a good team. Steelers seem to be a decent team. The Bills, Patriots. I love this Patriot team. I was on them early on. I think this Patriot team is really good. I don't know if they're ready to jump out, but this is a good team, and they got the right coach. And you don't hear a peep out of them up there. Let's get Jeff back up. Let's see if he's ready. How you doing now?
Can you hear me?
You're much better now.
All right.
I think you solved the issue. Yeah, I think you solved the issue. So let's see. But Jeff,
this fucking computer is about to take a ride.
Well, let's kind of start the show over again by saying, Jeff, welcome aboard, and how was your week?
Tom, I'm gonna be honest with you. My week was bad. From Sunday, it was bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because of one football game.
One football game threw your whole week off?
One football game fucked my whole week up.
Would that be the Jet game?
No.
Oh, that putrid loss. But okay, so please tell me, what football game threw off your week?
The Giants-Broncos game.
That threw off your whole week? Because
I knew that one of you two fucking buttholes was going to win.
That's true. I
knew it. I knew that one of them was going to win. And Frank Catalano, congratulations. Your team scored 33 points in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And as much as I wanted to see that game end in a 0-0 tie with no yards.
Yes.
And just like played between the 40s, not even between the 20s.
Wow.
That's what I wanted to see happen. And they somehow won. And I see some of his comments, and I'm not liking it, man. I'm not liking it.
All right. Well, so I'll give you, I don't know how much you heard, you were able to hear, so I'll tell you.
No, thanks to my modern technology that I have here, not much.
All right, so here was my take on it. Sunday, I was screaming bloody hell. I was cursing up and down.
You were.
Yeah, and I wanted everybody fired and everybody cut, the whole bit. But I've taken the tact from Sunday through today, and I've looked at it through the silver linings. And my thought is, hey, this is a game. The Giants were +7. So basically, nobody thought they had a chance to win the game. They went out for 3 quarters and played as good a football as they could. And for whatever reason, things fell apart. A terrible interception by Dart when he didn't need it. Lots of terrible defensive calls and a couple of missed extra points. And we come out of there a loser. But as a Giant fan, I see this team getting better and better and better. I see a lot of good talent, and I see a really, really bright future. Now, I am a little concerned about the coaching. Trading for Jeff. Listen, Matt's a good player. That doesn't solve a lot.
If I was you, I'd be extremely concerned about the coach.
Well, I'm not extreme. Here's why I'm not.
I'd be extremely concerned about the coaching, only because.
Yeah, Jeff.
No, I thought you were talking. I couldn't hear you.
No, so I was going to say.
I would be extremely concerned.
Why?
Good.
No, why would you be concerned?
Why would I?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm curious.
Because when you had Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones on the team, they couldn't do nothing with Daniel Jones, and then he went someplace else, and now the guy is on fire. And it seems like he's cooled down a little bit, but that was to kind of be expected. But he's still amongst the league leaders for quarterbacks. But he's definitely not the same quarterback he was for the last couple of years on the Giants. I would be concerned with Dable, man. I mean, is Dable the guy that you're going to want? Is he the one to lead this team to the next step, next level?
Well, that's the question that we were just talking about was, there's positives. Like, okay, now we could say that Daniel Jones on the Giants wasn't great, but he had a lot of great moments as a Giant. And he had one full season where he stayed healthy and he had a great season. Dable's also been part of Josh Allen. He turned Tommy DeVito from a guy who should be making pizzas to a decent backup quarterback who won some games when needed. And I love what I see from Jackson Dart. So my question is, do I want to fire Dable at the end of this year, bring in a whole new regime that I'm not sure, guaranteed is going to continue his advancement? Or do I want to make some changes on his staff, like fire the defensive coordinator, keep Dable and the system, and move forward? So I'm torn. Yeah, so I'm torn because I think I see enough improvement this year. Again, my problems with Dable aren't anything other than defensive situations where he's still to blame. You're the head coach, and if it ain't working, you gotta fix it. You're the head coach. I don't have a problem with the offense. I think the offense has been really good. They scored 30 points, 32 points in a game against one of the best defenses in the league on the road. They've scored points against the Eagles. So
it was totally a defensive breakdown.
Yes, 100%.
You can't blame the offense. The offense was doing their part.
Yep.
Totally a defensive breakdown.
Yeah. So
it's a shame because the offense did go out and win. But I mean, that last 5 minutes, never mind the whole fourth quarter, that last 5 minutes when they were going back and forth, because the score changed about 3 or 4 times.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
But the Giants should have stepped up and slammed the door
100%.
Before it got to that point.
100%. But again, I can't point to anything, again, Dart can't throw an interception there. Even if he gets sacked, you run one more play, take some time off the clock, you punt, and they got to go the length of the field 2 or 3 times to score to beat you. Throwing the interception there gave them a short field, quick touchdown, different football game. So there's the rub on the rookie quarterback and being aggressive. But I can't blame Dable for a lot of stuff. The offense looks better. The team's been better. They're in every football game. But I can't live with 2 times this year having under a minute with a lead, one time 25 seconds and one timeout, and then 30 seconds with no timeouts, and you find a way to lose the game. That's unacceptable to me. But so to me, at the very least, the defensive coordinator's got to go. He's got to go, even if you keep it stable. So, but
I agree.
Yeah, I as a Giant fan Sunday, I would have driven to Denver and beat Dable to within an inch of his life and dragged him back to New York dragging along the back of my car if I could have. But at this point, I think I've seen enough good stuff in the past and this year, and I don't want to do this to Dart where, okay, we're bringing another coach in next year. So I'm going to stick with Dable. If it's me, I'm going to fire the defensive coordinator, and I'm going to roll the dice because I've seen enough out of this kid to say I think they're on the right track.
Oh, time will tell.
Let's see. Not to ask you a question, and this no way is taken away from the Giants, but do you have any knowledge how bad Peyton coached till the 4th? Yeah, I think he was terrible. He was again, I think he's another guy who was completely unaware of the team he was playing. I think he was like, that's the Giants, and they made no adjustments. They made no, it was the worst called game. They were frustrated every token. Yeah, I agree. I think he was, I think Peyton was out coached until the 4th quarter. And I got to be honest with you, even then, I think, Dart's interception, the crazy pass for 40 yards, that was a mistake. I don't think he out-coached anybody. I think the Giants just got out-coached themselves, if you want to ask me, Jeff.
Well, listen, I understand there's ups and downs and everything else, but, to fluctuate that much in a quarter, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And, are they a changed team? Evidently, yeah, they certainly seem to be.
Yeah.
But it also seems to be like I can't say they'll resort back. It's just, I think last year they didn't have an offense.
Correct. And I think
this year they have an offense, but you gotta you just gotta. I don't know, man.
Yeah, you know what it is, Jeff, and I say it all the time, and I don't know if you buy into it, but sometimes the team has to learn how to win. Like sometimes you get to that spot in the game where things are going a little, like you're having your way with the other team, and all of a sudden things go a little bad, and then you go, all right, we got this. A team like the Giants, they're so used to losing. It's almost like, you come home every day after school and your dad beats the crap out of you, and he beats the crap out of you every day, and it's 6 months. And then one day the door slams and you jump under the bed because you think it's your dad. That's the Giants. And right now, like things get bad. It's like, all right, we're going to lose. All right. I think it's that kind of mentality because they're so used to it. They need a couple of wins in those big spots. And I think the attitude changes. It's getting there. After the Eagle game, I think it's been there. I think it's just winning a little bit more. I love the veteran leadership. Coaching definitely, as they say, but I think my opinion, players play, coaches coach, these players are Matt, I think you're right that I'll point to you, Matt, the difference. Aaron Glenn 2 weeks ago coached the Jets out of a win. Yes, Fields was terrible, the plays were terrible, but he coached an extremely bad game and gave them no chance to win. Like if your coach doesn't give you a chance to win and then you go out there and you shit the bed, that's a different story. But he gave them no chance to win 2 weeks ago. This week, the Giants coaching and offensively did nothing wrong. Defensively, the coach put them in a bad spot, but they still should have made the plays. They still can't. You got 8 guys covering 4 on that big play, and they allowed a 43-yard pass. That's on the players on the field. As bad as the coach was, it's on the players. So anyway, that's my take on the Giants, Jeff, is I would not make a big move. I love what Shane's done with the draft. It's been great. He's done it. Getting Dart was a. I can't tell you how many teams are probably kicking themselves that they didn't have taken when they had a chance. And again, it's only.
Listen, there's a lot of teams that take players that they kick themselves in the ass because they took those players, and then they see somebody else that wasn't supposed to amount to anything. I mean, look at the draft with Mayfield and Donald and Rosen and Allen and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was taken 32nd. He may have been the best out of all of them.
Correct. Again, listen, you never know, but all you can do is say, hey, we made a right call. The Giants have their quarterback that I could see, unless he regresses somehow, and it should be a bright future. You like to win a few of these games along the way, but
is that a Spinal Tap shirt?
Yes, it's my Spinal Tap shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I've had it. I've had it in my drawer for about 4 years. Just never wore it. So I broke it out tonight just for you. So anyway, good job of the Giants. I'm looking forward to the Eagle game. Again, Jeff, I told you before the season, it ain't wins and losses for me. I don't care how many games they win. I'd like to win a bunch, but I just want them to be competitive every week.
Of course. I understand your point. And if you look at that game after the fact, and you didn't know what happened, you would say they were competitive. They just happened to lose at the end. Correct. They lost by a point or two. And that really wasn't the case. I mean, they were winning, they were dominating, and then they just got the tables turned on them. It's
100%. It does. Let's see what we got. A big game against the Eagles this week. I'm looking forward to it. As far as the Jets go, Jeff, Frank asked a good question, and it's a weird one for me to have to ask at this point. But they're 0-7. Are the Jets sellers? Are you trading any of your big players, Quinnen Williams or Sauce Gardner or Garrett Wilson or anybody?
They're not going to trade Wilson or Gardner. You know that. They're not, because they just signed them. Then there's no way that they're going to trade them. I wouldn't mind if they traded Sauce Gardner. I would like to see them keep both Williams, Quincy and Quinnen. Mm-hmm. I would like to see them keep McDonald and Johnson, but Jermaine Johnson. But you never know with these fucking idiots. They don't have anything to sell other than Breece Hall, and they're down a couple of running backs as it is due to injury.
Yep.
So if you start selling, then you're going to just put yourself, to me, you're just going to put yourself further in a hole. I don't know what they're going to do. They're just an awful, awful, awful team.
Yep.
And once again, I mean, listen, they've been awful for years. Maybe the common denominator is simply Woody Johnson.
Well, that's a great possibility, but unless he decides to, he doesn't have to sell the team. I mean, again, is it him making the bad choices? I mean, he's not. I'm assuming he's not drafting the players. I'm assuming he's not in the
You can't tell me that the Jets scouting department has sucked for 20 plus years.
Don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Well, let's start right there.
Okay.
If somebody's going out and looking at these players and saying, well, we think you should draft this one or draft that one. The Jets, even when they have a good draft, something happens. And they had a good draft a couple years ago where they got a bunch of players early. And it happens once in a while with them. And then, you know what? They don't do nothing. They don't do anything to help. Breece Hall, is he playing better this year? He's playing better this year, yeah. But, do I want to see the Jets get rid of him? No, not really. I'd rather they don't. But, I mean, because what are you going to get for him? What are you actually going to get for Breece Hall?
I like Breece Hall. I would not trade Breece Hall unless you're going to get a mint for him. Unless you're telling me you're getting a number one, a number two, maybe getting a player back. Unless you're getting a steal of drift, which you're not for a running back like Breece Hall. He's a good back.
He hasn't done anything.
Correct. I think Breece Hall's a good back with a good team. He's a really good. He's got great hands. He's a good back. Again, he hasn't. I don't think he's got anywhere near 1,000 yards yet in his career. Yeah. So, right. So it's hard to say I'm going to build my team around him, but I think the Jets have bigger problems. I think. No, I agree with you, Frank. He's not getting that. So, I would not trade him unless the only other reason not to trade him, the only reason to trade him, Jeff, would be that you're not
going to pay him.
Right. So to me, if you're 0-7, so you're obviously not making the playoffs, and right now you almost don't care about trying, you almost think, let me trade him. Maybe I get a number 3 or 4, like Frankie said, and I build the team around the other kid for next year, or I'll draft the running back. They come out 4 or 5 of them a year. You're going to have a top 5 pick, no matter what happens.
Yeah, but you got to go after a quarterback.
No. There is no doubt in my mind the Jets have to draft the quarterback. Now, there's some decent ones out there. Matt will probably tell you better. I don't know who's good yet. I haven't got. I would trade Sauce Gardner myself. I think Sauce Gardner is overrated. Him, I think, for a really good team, you could probably pry away a number 2. Like if you're, like a Minnesota Viking.
A bunch of stuff about him. He's actually having statistically not a bad year.
No, he's not terrible, and I think on a better team.
No, but he was actually better. Like he's one of the top cornerbacks in the league. There was something like he man, what is it? Like he gave up like 10 passes, or I forget what it was. I should have saved it. I didn't, unfortunately. But I was like, if this is true, this is, he's actually better than I give him credit for. But
yeah, I don't think he's not a number 1 corner at this moment. He's not a great tackler. I think there's too many times where he takes plays off. I think he's a great number 2 corner. Like if you have a good corner and you can put him on the other side, you got yourself a good secondary. And I think if you could trade him to a team, like I'm stay out of your division. So let's say to Pittsburgh or Minnesota or somebody who might need a good corner to lock up their secondary for this year, and you can get a number 2 pick, I would do it in a heartbeat. That's a guy I would trade in a heartbeat, because I also think he's a bit of a malcontent. I think there's a little bit of he don't play hard when the team's not playing well type of thing. But other than that, the Jets have 2 problems. They obviously have no quarterback.
They got a lot more than 2 problems.
No, they got 2 major problems. Listen, that offensive line is going to be better in a year or 2. I mean, they got 2 good, I think, stud tackles. If Tucker stays healthy, I like their center guard, Tippmann. That's a good team, good offensive line. They need another receiver for sure. They might have a tight end. This kid Taylor's not bad. They need a quarterback, 100%. They need their Jackson Dart. They need their guy who changes that team around. And I don't think Aaron Glenn is the coach. I could be 100% wrong. He's absolutely not getting fired. His owner stuck up from this week. But I don't think Aaron Glenn is a good coach. I think he's trying to be kind of Bill Belichick-ish, and he's not, and his X's and O's suck. But Jeff, having said that, this week, if you were coaching the Jets, who would you start at quarterback?
Well, Jesus Christ. Either one is not going to be here for next year or going to be in the long-term plans. So I don't know. I don't know. They haven't been using Justin Fields as a runner, and Tyrod Taylor has a knee injury or something. So what do? Do you got to stick with Justin Fields again? I don't know. I really don't know, man. I that is a big question, a good question. Neither one of them is the answer at this point in time. I don't know. But maybe would you maybe approach the Giants and try to pry away Russell Wilson? Maybe.
Well,
try that.
I would, at very least, just to get competitive, just so you don't lose the team, I would try to get a Jameis Winston or even a Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson's got nothing left. I really believe he's got nothing left at this point. He came in for a play against the Eagles and he threw it directly into the ground. I mean, it wasn't even like close. But yeah, I would try to bring in somebody. Go get somebody's backup. Go get Tommy DeVito off the practice squad at the Patriots, and at least make it entertaining. Because at this point, they're not entertaining. I mean, It is impossible to watch them play football. I mean, the defense isn't bad. That offense, I'm telling you, we could draw it up and play it in the backyard better than they do. It is terrible.
They're in a bad way. But you want to know something? Every year the Jets do the same thing: hire a defensive coach. I would just like to see them hire an offensive coach once, just once. Hire a real deal offensive coach, and not Adam Gase. One that's that knows what he's doing. One that could develop a quarterback.
Yeah,
there's so many questions red flags that come up. It looks like a fucking fire.
It's terrible. And Frank, they do have it. I'm looking it up now. They have a young kid that they drafted a year or two ago.
Cook?
I'm not sure. Is that his name? I was trying to figure out who he was.
I think so.
So if I were the Jets at this point, I to be honest with you, I would play anybody. Here's the depth chart. Let me see. The Jets official depth chart. See. So the quarterback.
He's not even listed on it right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at. He's not even listed at the. Do they have the practice squad listed here anywhere? Special teams. He's not even shown on the roster. So, but yeah, I mean, at this point, I think running Justin Fields out there is wasted. The problem is they gave him a 2-year, I think, guaranteed contract or a big
$30 million.
That they're stuck with him. So whether you play him or not, he's on your team. Tyrod Taylor's a good backup guy, but I would start Taylor until his arm fell off. Or if they got anybody running around who could throw a football, I would put him back there because Justin Fields, you said it, and you're all right. You know he can't throw. He's been terrible for 6 games. Why isn't he running the football?
First of all, he's been terrible for more than 6 games. He's been terrible for years.
I'm just saying, we're watching 6 games this year. He's terrible. Like there's nothing new coming. You know, and they should sign Danny Dimes. You all should have signed Danny Dimes. I told you he's a good quarterback. But anyway, so if I were the Jets, though, I'm starting Fields. You've already seen enough of I'm starting Tyrod Taylor. I've seen enough of him. I mean, Joe Flacco sitting on the couch, got up for the Bengals. He went out and beat the Steelers on Thursday Night Football. Go find somebody sitting around and play him because anybody's better than what they got.
Yeah.
But
I hear that.
Yeah, I would tell you that this version of the Jets might be the worst offensive football I have seen from that team in a long time. I can't think back to an offensive Jet team that was this bad. Like that was just hopeless.
Geno Smith, yes.
Oh, maybe. That's a good question. I don't know, but I have to really go back and compare it. But it's like they got no chance.
Just remember the one year that Geno Smith handed the ball off the entire game. The entire game, yes. He handed the ball off.
Yes.
And it was a nationally televised game, if you remember. I think it was a Monday night game.
I get it.
And all he did was all game long hand the ball off. If that doesn't say something, nothing will.
I get it. And you're 100% right. Hard Rockets, Jeff and Tom. Go ahead.
No, I have to jump off the subject real quick. Well, I just saw something that Frank Catalano wrote, and I figured I'd give you a good laugh.
Go ahead.
About my Jets team on PS5.
Your Jets team on PS5. Go ahead.
Okay. So last season I improved. I went 8-1.
Okay.
Right. So my year before that, I forget what I was. I was like maybe 5 or 12 and whatever. Okay. So I ended up winning 8 games, 8-1. So now, you once you end the season, have you done a season on Madden yet?
Yes. Not on 26, on 25 I did.
Okay. Well, I'm on season number 2.
Okay.
No, I'm actually on season number 3.
Wow.
Yeah. Cause I just,
on 26.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're going through. Okay.
Yeah. So I got a bunch of free agents. I maxed out my salary cap,
Okay.
but I didn't do anything about a quarterback. So now it was Justin Fields or anybody else. So I tried to sign Justin Fields because I try to keep the team current, as bad as it is.
Right.
I try to keep the players current. Justin Fields would not sign with the New York Jets. He would not sign with the New York Jets, meaning I had to go out and get a replacement quarterback.
Right.
I got Jameis Winston.
Okay.
Okay. So Jameis Winston is my starter because he was the only one I could afford with the few shekels that I had left in my moth-eaten pocketbook. So I have Justin Fields. Jameis Winston. My first 2 games of the year were an actual monsoon. I mean, you couldn't see the field. That's how hard it was raining. Yeah.
Wow.
It was cool, but I was like, I can't fucking. What's up, Louis?
What's up, Louis Pika?
I'm like, I have no passing game, right?
Right.
So, but thank God for Breece Hall. He's leading the league in the ground, rushing.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't cracked 100 yards. I just cracked 100 yards today, and I come back. I'm playing the Dolphins, and I was up 7-0. Then I was down 14-7. Then I tied. Then it was 21-7. I tied again. Whatever. I go into overtime.
Mm-hmm.
The Dolphins have the ball. I stop them. Now I'm marching the length of the field. I have like 20 seconds left. I take a timeout. I have 1 timeout left. I run the ball. I get stopped at the 1-yard line. So instead of running another play, I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around, call a timeout, 2 seconds left on the clock, kick a field goal, right?
Uh-huh.
So I would be fired if this was the real NFL, because now it ends up as a tie.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, it ends as a tie?
Yeah, it ended in a tie. Now I'm 2-0-1.
Okay.
So now I kick the field goal, I win the game. If I mess up the field goal, there's 2 seconds left. That's it. It's over. There's nothing I can do.
Right.
And I missed a field goal.
Oh.
I would have been better off going for the touchdown on 4th and whatever, or 3rd and whatever it was. No, sorry. 2nd down from the 1-yard line or 2-yard line. And I'm over there like, I can't believe what I just did. I can't believe what I just did. I said it would have ended in a tie anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
But I was like,
you guys just went for it. Yes, I got you. Yeah. At that point,
I would have been better off.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Listen.
So disappointed in myself. It was unbelievable.
Guys, that was the geek moment. We've been playing a lot of Madden offline, away from each other, but we've been playing against each other. We've even gotten into hockey now. So, listen, this is what we do when we're 50-something years old.
And my hockey team, the Rangers, first overall seed, like 160 points I got, won the President's Trophy. And I'm up against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round.
Nice. Well, I got to tell you, folks, I know it sounds geeky, but it's a lot of fun. And Jeff and I played a game last week in hockey, and it was the first time I played against somebody. It's a lot of fun. We played twice now, and we did alumni. I was I think I was the Oilers alumni team, and Jeff was the Red Wings. I was playing against Gordie Howe, and his goalie had no mask. It was Terry Sawchuk.
I already know who my next alumni team is going to be.
Okay, don't tell me because we're going to play. But I'm looking forward to that. But it's a lot of fun. And if you ever were a game guy, it's a lot of fun to do. And it's amazing, the technology now. It's a lot of fun. I just lost my league game to Iggy Mo. Great game. I had a major comeback, just fell a little short. And
I am so disappointed that this guy tasted blood now. I don't need this shit, man. I really don't need this shit. This is just going to be somebody else to worry about. I thought that he was going to go 0 and whatever, and that he was going to be out, and then it was just going to be hoping that Frankie had a bad game.
Yeah.
But now that he won, I bet you he's sitting up, like taking it more seriously now.
Yeah, he tore it up early. I was down like 27 something, I think, or 24 something, and I mounted a major comeback and just couldn't stop him. And then he scored a touchdown, put the game away. I couldn't stop it. So a lot of fun. It was a good game, and it was competitive. And I'll practice a little bit, and we'll play some hockey. And I would tell you one thing before we get back to regular stuff. Ultimate Team's a lot of fun. I played Frankie for the first time in Ultimate Team, and that was a lot of fun. That was fun. It's just a lot of fun to look up and see the team you got. Like, it's all these superstars and past legends, and it's fun.
It depends on what you're doing. You must be playing a lot, because I just started to get some better players.
Yep.
And I'm talking about guys that were ranked in the 80s. Most of my team is in the mid to high 70s. But every time that I go and play, I'm getting some better guys. Like,
absolutely.
Like right now, my quarterback, I think, is Stroud.
Okay.
CJ, no, who's the one from Houston, the Texans?
CJ Stroud.
Okay, he's my quarterback.
Okay.
I'm not a believer.
No, again, I got JJ McCarthy at this point. I just picked up an upgrade was Mac Jones, if you can believe it. So, but I got like last year on 25 when I did it, I had Lawrence Taylor, I had Ray Lewis. My receivers like Justin Jefferson and like Jerry Rice was like incredible. I don't have anywhere near that team on 26, so I'm working on it. But Frankie and I played. He's got some team, and somehow I managed to beat him. So
really good.
Yes. Good. Somehow I managed to beat him. So a lot of fun. But let's get back to the regular stuff. So again, we've been through the Jets, we've been through the Giants. Best one was, Matt. I think at this point in time, if the guy was any good, if Thompson was any good, he'd be starting for somebody, because there's guys running around. I mean, Cooper Rush has been starting for the Titans. There's the Titans? No. Texans. Cooper Rush is starting out there for somebody. I don't know who it is top of my head. I saw him playing. He's terrible. So anyway,
he's Baltimore, no?
Is he starting for Baltimore? I know that. But we'll get back to the NFL. I want to talk a little bit about. I did notice today that they put out the announcement that Iron Maiden is coming next September, but tickets are on sale next Friday. Fucking crazy. So, I have to be honest, I wasn't crazy about the card. Now, I don't know if that's going to be that throughout. I don't know if that's all the same bands for the whole tour.
I think they're going to, I think Megadeth latched on, man. That's benefits them, because this is supposedly their last album. I would imagine their last tour.
For Megadeth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And Matt, you're right. Feels is terrible. I would go with anybody at this point who can even remotely throw a football. So I'm agreeing with you on that. You're 100% right. But I'm excited.
It even sucks in Madden. He can't throw the fucking ball.
Yeah. But, for me, for Maiden, Jeff, why are they – I know it's not Maiden, but, I mean, why are they asking you to buy tickets? I mean, literally just a little less than a year from when the tour starts. I got to even check the dates to see when they're going to be here and who they're going to – what places they're playing. But they're asking you to lay out, I'm sure, a good bit of money a year in advance. That's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah, it is. But you want to know something? This is the day and age that you live in. You want to go to this show, you're going to have to pay. I don't know what the prices of the tickets are.
Don't know yet.
I imagine they're probably going to be expensive.
Well, I would tell you that I would say, short of sitting in the nosebleeds, if you're sitting in a medium seat, you're probably paying $350 a seat at a minimum. Yeah, between the cost of the tickets and all the fees, yeah, I would tell you it's crazy. And I think he said they are not.
Testament is not on the Maiden tour, bro. It's going to be Anthrax and
Megadeth. Yeah, I saw a poster for it. Now the poster Frankie put up. If you expand it, it says Made in England tour 2013. That's why I said it. Isn't that an old one? And then I did see a revised version of that on the internet, and it had for 2026.
Well, it's definitely 2026. Yeah. I saw that. I don't know. I didn't. Where did Frankie send that? He sent that on Messenger, right?
Yeah, it's on Messenger. It's a group, me, you, and him.
Yeah, so, Frank and Tommy. There it is.
Yeah. So I mean, Rush is coming next July. I'm going to wait till the last minute. I'm going to go, but I'm going to get tickets.
Maybe this is just. Yeah, Made in England 2013.
Yeah.
And then over here it says Iron Maiden with special guests Megadeth, Anthrax, Testament, Overkill.
Yeah, I think that's an old poster from an old tour, and somebody just
I
threw
don't
it
think
up.
I don't think Overkill ever played with Iron Maiden.
Again, that's 12 years ago. It could have been like one festival type show, or something like that. I don't know. I didn't hear. I saw that tour in Jersey, and it was with Alice Cooper.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think I don't. Matter of fact, I would almost guarantee that Overkill never played with Maiden, because when they played with Metallica, they played out in the parking lot.
right.
And that was a big thing for them to be out in the parking lot playing with Metallica. They didn't even make it inside.
Yeah. So to me, I didn't understand that, but a similar poster was put up later on. It's all over the internet. In fact, I even put it up for us to see later on. That so they're going to come out, and and I will go on the web next Friday, and I will put. Well, did I tell you my experience with the Rush tickets?
No, I know. Well, I think you said that Rush tickets were very, very expensive.
Well, yeah. So I signed up for the pre-sale. So there's different pre-sales. There was I'm sure there was a fan club pre-sale, and then City. And if you have a Citibank card, that's a pre-sale, and then there's So I sign up, and it tells you to log in at this time, a half hour before this time when his tickets go on sale. So I log in, and my place is like number 2,700 for tickets.
Wow.
So I'm thinking never going to get there. All of a sudden, boom, 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 it starts coming down, and within about 15 minutes, maybe less, a little less than that, my place is coming up. I go to so now I go and let me go grab 2 seats. $750 was the cheapest seat available.
For the seat.
The seat, one seat, $750. So I said, I want to see it. I ain't gonna see it that badly. I said I will buy it on StubHub or one of those sites later on when it gets closer, and they're just looking to bail on tickets. They're playing 5 shows. I'm sure I'll get tickets to one of them and call it a day. I don't know what my cap for a Maiden ticket's going to be, but I'll figure it out. But
$750. That's a lot for anybody's ticket.
Yeah, I went to see Elton John on his last tour, and I paid $800 for 2 seats, and I thought that was crazy.
It is. It is crazy.
But that was
It's
Elton John, and my wife wanted.
I listen. You know what? I understand your point, and if you want to go see these people, I understand you got to pay. But I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
you got to be kidding. I right in this room right here behind me, I have a bunch of ticket stubs in a frame of what I paid. Like, you could see the price on them, and like tickets for Van Halen. I think I paid $16.50 for a Van Halen ticket for the Fair Warning tour. Tickets maybe $25, $30 for Metallica years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cheap. These were now $800 for 2 seats.
Yeah,
man, that is such a shame, man.
And that's Elton John. I mean, they were good seats, and they were decent seats. They were like kind of floor. Like, think of like if you are, if he was at one hockey goal and I was at the other one, just outside the boards. Like I was like just off the floor. I was sitting in folding chairs.
So you couldn't see his face from where you were.
I would say you saw the stage, you saw him, but he was kind of a big figure. Like, you couldn't really, if I was trying to see if he was smiling, I couldn't see it. So I was, watching the board, but it was a decent seat. Nobody was blocking us. Like, I didn't have to sit next to anybody, but it was, $400 a seat to see Elton John, and it was worth it, because it made my wife happy. So I took her, but short of that, but going to Maiden, to spend $500 a seat or $400 a seat to sit in a grid, I don't know. I'm going to see what they go for next Friday. But one step at a time. It is nice to see. Somebody texted me and said, they put up a thing, and it's right with Ozzy dying and Sabbath officially being done, and Ace Frehley dying. It's kind of nice to know that Maiden's coming in next year, and we still got some form of heavy metal in there coming with a old school set list, and I'm looking forward to it.
If you notice that it said on the thing that they're going from Iron Maiden to Fear in the Dark.
Yes, I did notice it.
So it's all going to be all old stuff.
Yep.
It didn't say that they're going to play. This is going to be the last time around that they're playing some of these songs. It didn't say
No,
that.
no. They're just coming back. See, this has been the norm for Maiden for the last 15 years. I'm going to guess, maybe more. I would say, yeah, maybe about 15 years. They come out every 2 years. They come back. They'll come back. The one time they'll do an album and they'll tour on that album. They still play some old stuff, but they'll mix in 3 or 4. And then 2 years later they'll come back and they'll do an old school tour, playing nothing but the legendary stuff. But this one, you know, some of them I've seen, they've played some of the more modern old stuff, and it was okay. But you know, this is old school. Like, you're going there and you're going to hear classic era stuff. Now, for you as a Maiden fan who doesn't like Bruce Dickinson singing, you know, Paul Di'Anno stuff, that might be the only issue for you, is that you're going to get a lot of Killers and Wrathchild and some of that stuff that I know you don't like to hear from.
Well, he has a lot of his own stuff to pick from too.
No, I got you, but I'm curious. I mean, I'm sure there's a set list out there already, or will be out there soon, and we'll analyze it beforehand and all that. But I would bet you'll hear like 2 or 3 songs from each of those first few albums. I would think.
We'll see. I bet you that they'll play a couple, like, you know, they'll probably play Iron Maiden, but I don't think they're going to play that many because I think they got a lot of territory to cover. You know, listen, I mean, I think we did it before when we said what songs we'd like to see.
Yeah. Yep.
And you know that they're going to play certain songs like Fear of the Dark. They're going to play Fear of the Dark. You know, certain songs, you know, that just a Run to the Hills, Number of the Beast, you would think that they're going to play.
Yep.
Do they play both 2 Minutes to Midnight and Aces High? I think they play one or the other.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope it's neither, but yeah, you're right. You're going to get at least one of them, but you're 100%.
Yeah, the Trooper. You know, there's a lot of songs that, like, if you could hear them play, like maybe start off where Eagles There. You know, and then you also got something else too. You know, you got the new drummer that's coming in.
Yes, that's interesting.
You know?
That is really interesting to see. Also, because I've only, in my time of seeing Maiden, I've only seen Nico. First concert I ever went to was a Nico concert, Peace of Mind. So, you know, for me, that's the only Maiden drummer I've ever seen. Let alone, you know, Clive was gone from the band by the time I got to go see them play. So, you know, and you know, he's 70-something years old. So how long? You know, it's 40-something years of the same drummer. But I'm looking forward to that, and I think that, you know, it's right with everything happening, with Ace passing away, and that era, kind of the door closing there and the door closing on Sabbath. To know that at least Maiden's got maybe another couple of tours left in them, you know, I think it's pretty cool, and I'm happy to see it. So we'll see, but it's all good. Couple things else. Let's see. I had on my list here. For the record, the Super Bowl next year is the NFL's dream. By happenstance, with the 17-game season and the bye and where it falls, the NFL gets the Super Bowl next year on President's Day weekend. So a lot of people now, the NFL wants to go to 18 games, and the problem with that is, if they go to 18 games, they will miss President's Day weekend by 1 week unless they slide back and start on Labor Day weekend, which they don't do. They usually start the week after Labor Day.
Well, you know what? I if it means that they're going to make money, they'll start on 4th of July and do a round of the first season first, and then they'll go back. You know, we're going to take off a bye for the next 8 weeks and then come back on September 8th.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I got you. I think that they will find a way, one, to get 18 games, but 2, to end the season somehow on President's Day weekend. It makes total sense. I mean, it's almost a holiday weekend. It's almost a holiday weekend anyway. Everybody, whether you love the teams, love the Super Bowl halftime, whatever, everybody finds a way to watch part of that game. So to me, you know, you make it on the weekend, people will make trips out of it. They'll be spend more money, and you know, they'll have most people have Monday off. I don't get President's Day weekend, never have, probably never will.
I don't get it either, but I end up working it. So what's the difference?
Yeah, right. You're right, Matt. We don't want to interfere with the UFL game. That's true. We don't want to get anywhere near the UFL game and disturb that. Oh boy, UFL. Anyway, so yeah, that's interesting too. So for next year, this year I think it is you'll see the Super Bowl on President's Day weekend. Let's see. Just a little something. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but one of the things that I'm sad about is that Ace Frehley was so excited about the Kiss being honored at the Kennedy Center honors, and now he won't get to experience it and be part of it. He was stoked. Now I did realize, and I did look it up, the bands themselves who are being honored, or whoever they are, like Sylvester Stallone's being honored, they do not perform. They sit up in the booth. They wear a nice tuxedo, and other artists come out and honor them either by playing or talking or whatever. So I'm curious to see who's going to go out there and perform Kiss songs like Heart did for Led Zeppelin. I'm curious to see how that plays out. But to me, Jeff, it's pretty sad that Ace did not get the opportunity to go up there. I actually believe he was a Trump fan as well. He did have some nice things to say about the president, but I think it's sad, and didn't get a chance to kind of realize the finality of it.
I was told today that they are doing an inquiry into his death.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. Really?
That's what I had heard. I don't know how true it is.
Wow.
That's what I heard. Somebody told me. First of all, real quick, did he fall in September?
He's had from what I remember, there's been 2 falls. He had one very recently where he fell, and that's the one that led to his death. But there was a fall prior to that. I don't know from what. I don't know if it's something they're doing an Ace concert. Yeah, they should do an Ace concert. But yeah, I don't know, Jeff. That's a good question. I'll have to look that up.
Frank Catalano, do you know that by any chance? What exactly happened? Because I know that he canceled his tour, and then he canceled his tour for the rest of the year of 2025. He fell twice.
Yes.
I didn't actually see it, Frank. Somebody at work told me that they were doing an autopsy on him, that they're investigating the possibility that I don't want to say that he was murdered because I don't know.
It was like mishandled. Maybe it was mishandled. His injury.
Well, I don't know why would anybody? What was the whole point of that? Like,
yeah, good question.
Why not just look into it?
Good question.
Why did you know what I mean?
Yeah, good question. I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know. I mean, who's gonna? Why would anybody try to kill him? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I know that the second fall, again, I don't know if he had some sort of health issue that caused him to fall, if he just tripped and fell. I haven't seen anything. I've looked up through Blabbermouth. I didn't see anything else. Yeah, so I know he had a brain bleed and he just couldn't recover. And, it's a sad ending. Again, I don't want to
fall to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it does. Well, think about it. Guys like Bob Saget had a heart attack, but he actually died because he fell and hit his head and died in his hotel room. That's the sad part of it is he didn't necessarily die from the heart attack he had, I believe. Looking into it, unless it's all BS. I don't know. It's a good question. I just said, but listen, the guy partied like a rock star for 50 years. I mean, I know he's been sober for a good 20 years, but the guy partied like a rock star for a long, long time, beat the crap out of his body. It was the fact that he lived till 74 is probably amazing. Now, I'll give you one. That we should talk about while we got Matt and Frankie here real quick. Yeah, they said he was sober for 19 years, and I'll buy into it. I never saw or heard anything crazy. But Dave Ellefson said, and it's interesting, he said, I have the quote here somewhere. Hold on. He said, Ace's passing is on the level of losing Eddie Van Halen. Now, I get that his playing isn't Eddie Van Halen like, but it seems, and everything that all the different people that came out and said that he was the reason why they play guitar.
He was extremely influential. That can't be argued.
That's the question. Do you think his level of influence was up there with an Eddie or one of those kind of guys?
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt,
Even the fact that I would say Ace was a really good guitar player who was
Let's put it this way: if
yeah.
any musician that was in Kiss,
Yeah.
I highly doubt is going to make any kind of top 5 list
Right.
as being an incredible musician. Maybe top 10, top 20, but a top 5 influence on people because of their ability, no. Their top 5 influence on people because they're in Kiss, completely different story. I could say that maybe Ace Frehley was more influential in getting people to pick up the guitar than, say, Geddy Lee or Alex Lifeson from Rush or some of the other guys that were playing, in that time zone. He had a stage presence.
Yes.
He had a show. He had props. Kiss, the whole situation that Kiss was with all the makeup, the fire, the blood, everything. What was it? When we watched Gene Simmons play his bass solo, that sucked.
Yeah.
It was hit an E.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know what? People would go wild because he was hitting the E, spitting up blood, and he was in costume with makeup and everything else. They had nicknames, everything, the Star Child, the cat, the demon that I don't even forget what the fuck Ace even was, but they were very influential, without a doubt, man.
Yeah, and Matt, you're right. So I think Eddie Van Halen is one of the top 3 guitar players of all time. I mean, we've had this conversation on the air.
Not skill wise.
Eddie Van Halen?
No, I thought you said Ace.
No, I said no. Eddie Van Halen is to me.
Eddie Van Halen's a completely different story. Yes.
Yeah, Ace is not that guy. But I think the rhyme of it is just what Jeff said. The stage presence. He was the quintessential rock guitar player, musician. He was just, he was the cool guy. Showed up in his Kiss audition, one orange sneaker, one red sneaker. He just played, and he was just, his solos were melody driven. You didn't blow you away. Much better guitar players out there, but as an influence, yeah, I agree, man. There's so many people who, and me included. I mean, the first music I ever really got into that was outside of my parents' purview was Kiss, and it was Ace Frehley for me. I was, the Ace Frehley guitar player of my friends, air guitar band. I mean, that's just what it was.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like there was an allure to Kiss.
Yeah.
It came out at a time where we were young and impressionable. And a lot of people in our age bracket like Kiss. I have some of their songs in my phone. I have a decent amount, but I couldn't tell you what albums they were from. I know they're all before they took the makeup off. I know that much.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell you the order of any of their albums. And, their songs are good, but, to me, there's just other stuff that I would rather listen to than Kiss.
100%. And listen, for me too, I love Kiss. I have every album. I've seen them live. I love Kiss. And to me, again, Ace is not the greatest guitar player I've ever seen.
No, definitely not.
He was the guy, when you looked up, that's what a guitar player looked like and did. And everybody wanted to be Ace Frehley. Everybody wanted to be Ace. I grew up, there were very few people who wanted to be Peter Criss or Paul Stanley. It was either Gene or it was Ace, and most people wanted to be Ace. He just was cooler character, the cooler guy. He was nutty, and his guitar blew up in the middle of he was shooting rockets out of his guitar. I mean, it was just so cool.
Other than his solo album and a handful of Kiss songs, and I know that he wasn't in Kiss that long. He was actually out of Kiss longer than he was ever in Kiss, I believe.
Correct. He went, man started 73, 74, and he was gone by 82.
Okay. So he wasn't even, and did he come back for a short time?
He did 97. He brought the original band back for the Psycho Circus tour. I think it was for a year or two, probably 2 years.
How many songs do you think he sang? Did he have a large repertoire that he sang?
No, I would say obviously for the first couple albums he sang, Shock Me was his first, that was off Love Gun, I believe. That was the one song he sang up to that point. I don't think he sang too many. Most of it's Gene and Paul.
I would say most would be Paul, then Gene, no?
Yeah, I think it was pretty much a mix. I mean, obviously Paul dominates. Peter sang Beth, obviously, and I think he sang, if I'm not saying Parasite.
Peter Criss?
Yeah, he sang, I think, 2 songs. And Frankie, am I right? Did Peter Criss sing 2 songs on the Maiden albums? I'm sorry, on the Kiss albums. And then I think Ace, only one I remember, I have to go look it up, would be Shock Me. It was the only one I remember off their original albums that he sang lead on. It wasn't until really later on when, Feely's Comets and all that. He did more. Yeah, I'm just not bringing it off the top of my head. So
did they do any songs off of the solo albums? When they put the solo albums out, they all came out at the same time, correct?
Yes. Oh,
wasn't that Peter Criss that sang Hard Luck Woman?
I thought it was Peter Criss. Yeah, I think that's Peter. I don't think that was. No, Black Diamond was Gene. I'm almost positive. Black Diamond's Gene. You have to look that up, but hell, I'm going to ask Gemini right now. Hold on a second. I'll tell you exactly. Gemini will know it. Gemini, how many songs and which ones did Ace Frehley sing on the original Kiss albums? Let's see. Shock Me, Rocket Ride, 2000 Man, and Save Your Love. 4 songs.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. The songs he sang: Shock Me, From Love Gun, Rocket Ride, 2000 Man, and Save Your Love.
Wow. That's not many at all.
No.
I thought
you're right. Peter sang Hard Luck Woman for sure. And I thought Black Diamond. I'm going to ask right now.
Yeah, I think Gene Simmons sang Black Diamond.
Who sang the song Black Diamond from Kiss on their albums? Question mark.
The primary lead vocalist on the original studio version of the song Black Diamond from the 1974 self-titled album Kiss is Peter Criss, drums. However, Paul Stanley, rhythm guitar, sings the acoustic intro before the song transitions.
All right, so it is Peter Criss sings Black Diamond.
Okay.
So, but Ace 4 songs. Peter, yeah, I know for sure Peter sang Beth, Hard Luck Woman. Frankie's right. I didn't realize he sang Black Diamond.
Neither did I. I would have thought that was Gene Simmons.
But again, bar none, Ace's solo album was the best one. It was by far. Paul sucked. Peter's was horrendous. Gene had one great song, Radioactive. He had all the celebrity musicians, this and that. But Ace Frehley's solo is by far easily the best one out of all of them. I don't care.
Kiss toured after those solo albums were released, did they perform any of those songs in their shows?
I would tell you the only one I think I know. I mean, I think New York Groove. I think. Let me. I'll ask Gemini. Hey, Gemini, in the original band, did any of the artists from Kiss solo music make it into the early tours?
Yes, a few songs from the original Kiss members' 1978 solo albums made it into the band's set lists on early tours, specifically starting with the tour for the Dynasty album in 1979. The most notable songs played were New York Groove from Ace Frehley's solo album, Radioactive from Gene Simmons' solo album, though it was reportedly dropped quickly, Tossin' and Turnin' from Peter Criss's solo album, also reportedly dropped quickly, Move On from Paul Stanley's solo album. New York Groove was the most enduring of the solo songs and continued to be played by Kiss long after that initial tour.
Yep, so I nailed that one. New York Groove was the one I know they made it. It seems like they all had one song in there, and the other 3. Radioactive was a good tune from Gene Simmons, very poppy.
They didn't go on their own tours with those albums?
No, the agreement was that they from what I've always been told, Ace and Peter wanted to go out on their own, and they said, "Let's not break up the band, let's not go crazy. Let everybody can release their own album, but we stay as Kiss and we go out as Kiss." And that's what they decided to do. And then shortly thereafter, Ace thought, "I'm going to be the superstar," and decided he was going to leave. Peter, I think, was just drugged out or alcoholed out, and they were both shortly thereafter they were gone. But no, as far as I know, nobody toured big. Now they made it play a club date, they made it play a small show, but as far as I know, nobody did anything big off the solo albums, and they all had the chance to play a little bit of their music, obviously one song each.
Dude, I got to take a quick leak. I'll be right back.
Yes, and you're right, because Ace got credit for being on Creatures, but even though I don't think he toured off the Creatures album, right, Frank? He was on the album cover, but I don't think he actually played on it. But yes, yes, and they did dedicate to each other, which I'm sure was the management's decision, not the So listen, Ace is gone, and that's a big one. There's been some tough ones this year with Ozzy and Hulk Hogan and Ace Frehley. This has been a tough year for icons of my youth. So thank God Don Mattingly's still alive. We got to wrap him in bubble plastic. I'm running out of icons. So, but Hard Rockets. No, I don't think he played much on Creature, although he was credited for being in the band. And I don't think he toured on that one. I think he was gone, and they replaced him at that point. Sorry, guys. Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom, Thursday night. Having a good time with you guys. Thanks for hanging around. Again, Maiden coming around next year. Bon Jovi coming around next year. Rush is coming around next year. It's like 1985 all over again. We're looking forward to it. Vinny did. Okay. Maiden tickets on sale next week. I'm going to go see Maiden. There is no doubt in my mind. I no doubt in my mind I'm going to see Maiden. I will buy tickets, and I will be at the Maiden show. I haven't gone in a while. I think the last time I saw Maiden was pre-COVID at the Prudential Center. Me, Jeff, Greg, and Paul Gill all went to go see Maiden at the Prudential Center probably 6 years ago. And that, I think, was the impetus for that was Paul Gill's 50th birthday. Now, Paul turned 58, so that tells you how long ago that was. Don't forget the changes of the original cover for Creatures. They took off. Yes, gotcha. So, again, Bon Jovi, Rush, and Iron Maiden on tour next year, to say the least. And we're looking forward to a lot more of that. Let's see if I got anything else we want to talk about tonight. We may end this a little early. But I'll get to talk about the gambling scandal. Did you catch a little of that today, the NBA gambling scandal?
I saw some of it, but I don't know what's going on because I don't know what the story is with gambling and the NBA. The gambling sites seem to be huge for every aspect of sports, so I don't understand how the people that play sports aren't allowed to make certain bets.
Well, so here's the problem. So you're not – I don't know what the rules are. I know you're not supposed to bet on your own team regardless. Well, there was one scandal that the player got caught up in, and I think it's in this one too, where players were, checking the prop bets. So let's say I have a prop bet against – let's say I'm playing tonight, and the prop is I won't make 2 3-pointers. And I go, all right, bet it. I'm going to shoot 25 3-pointers until I make the third one. Or they say, hey, he's going to hit 6 3-pointers tonight. And you go, all right, I'm gonna take myself out in the third quarter so I can't score X amount of points.
Yeah.
So a lot. Yes, absolutely, Matt. It's going on for years. But here's the problem. It's starting to blow up on them now. So now the problem that they're having, Jeff, is.
Well, did you see how high tech it was?
Oh, yeah. Well, first they had the poker one where they had all sorts of stuff. But you got an active NBA coach caught up in it. 2 former players. They just had one guy who played for the Raptors. He got the lifetime ban, and he's facing charges, an active player. So here's what's going on. At some point, somebody's going to get caught, and it's going to be in a big game, whether it's a Super Bowl or an NFC Championship game or a World Series or the NBA Finals, and it's going to cause such an uproar that it's going to be Black Sox scandal type of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to ban the players from doing. Now, here's the problem. All right, Jeff, you're playing. You can't make the bet. You call your cousin. Hey, do me a favor. Put 50,000 on my team tonight.
Of course.
The other team, 3 guys ain't playing. So.
You know what's going to happen? They'll end up getting caught regardless.
Yes.
Because when you get cousin Joe, who hasn't worked in 6 years, throwing a $50,000 bet, and they follow the trail from where the money came from,
But here's the point. Now, I heard somebody say this, so I'm not taking credit for this one, and I couldn't agree with them more. So they took 3 to 4 years to follow this whole thing. There's 4 different crime families involved. Crazy. You got 31 people. You got NBA players, past and present. You got an NBA coach currently. Took them 3 or 4 years to figure this whole thing out and take them to court. The Shohei Ohtani investigation was a day and a half, and they concluded that he did no wrong. You're not telling me that somebody didn't talk to somebody and say, please, you can't have this guy be guilty. To me, that's the biggest cover-up that won't get talked about for another 10 years that we've ever had, Jeff. Doesn't make any sense to me that the FBI took 3 to 4 years, 2 different administrations, and took down 31 people, organized crime, NBA players, all sorts of different people, walks of life, and Shohei Ohtani 1.5 days, and they decided that he was innocent. Come on.
Listen, I agree, but the only thing was Ohtani, were they found guilty for just betting on baseball?
I don't think he got Shohei Ohtani his guy got in trouble for basically embezzling money, not for. They said that Ohtani had no knowledge. That's the investigation, a day and a half in.
I find that hard to believe, that many millions of dollars gone.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm asking is because when it comes to betting, like not many people that you know of, baseball doesn't seem to have the same allure of betting as the NFL or
of course not.
basketball. That's like saying that I bet on hockey, and they're going to be like, well, how the fuck do you bet on hockey? So it's the same thing with baseball. I could see betting on a certain player to hit a home run in, the 9th inning, that the judge is going to hit a home run.
Well,
something silly like that. But
I'll give you such as somebody told me today. There was a pitcher who pitched a closer in the major league. His first pitch was 8 feet wide, like just didn't come close. And supposedly that was the signal to whoever was making the bet that he was going to give up a big hit. He's going to groove one in there. That was the signal that I'm all in, make the bet. Now, I don't know how true that is, but to me, if you were a closer for a team and you said, okay, if I'm going to bet against myself tonight, and if I get that opportunity, I'm grooving one. Or if I'm the starting pitcher and it says I'm going to keep it under 100 pitches and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to throw balls, over people's heads until I get over 100 pitches. There's so many prop bets that.
I understand that, but I mean, is prop bets, they're usually smaller bets, no prop bets?
No. Let me tell you something. I don't bet very many, regular games. Like I bet prop bets, like so-and-so is going to get over 100 yards and so-and-so is going to score 2 touchdowns.
In football, prop bets a little, it's a little different than baseball. I mean,
I'm sure there's much more of them in football or in other sports than, let's say, baseball. I don't bet baseball. I bet strictly football. And that's it. I don't bet anything else. But there's enough prop bets out there that you can make a lot of money. So, anything's possible. Again, my whole premise of this was just to say, if you investigate for 3 or 4 years to take down these guys, and then Ohtani gets away with it because a day and a half because they didn't want him to be found guilty.
Of course not.
Yeah, to me, that is one of the biggest cover-ups that you won't find out till he's done.
That must mean that there was so much money that changed hands.
Oh, yeah.
To make that just go away and to make it go away so fast.
There were millions of dollars out of his account to this betting site. Millions of dollars that you're not going to. Again, I'll go back to it one more time. When you spend 500, when you transfer, I think it's over 250 or 500,000 out of the United States, it is automatically tagged and red flagged, and your bank notifies you that this is happening. And I think they notify the government. So there's no way in the world that Shohei Ohtani is that dumb that, or whoever handles his money, that they didn't realize somebody else is in his account transferring hundreds of thousands of dollars overseas. So he's guilty. Whatever he did, and they covered it up. And I could care less. But boy, oh boy, that we will find out someday will be the biggest cover-up ever. There's no doubt in my mind. Bigger than Pete Rose. Bigger than Pete Rose.
Well, Pete Rose wasn't throwing money like that around, no?
No. Pete Rose is betting with his bookie probably a couple grand at a shot if he's lucky. So this is, you're one of your star players, faces of the league, and there are millions of dollars going out of his account to gambling sites, and you're not telling me he didn't know. So again, this scandal's coming to the NFL. One of these days,
of course,
we're good. Now I don't know, with the way things are now, where you don't have to go to Atlantic City, you could sit in your Jeff. I could sit at my desk at work, pop it up, and place a bet in a minute.
You don't do it on the phone?
I could do it on my phone. I could do it on my computer.
Well, only reason I'm asking is I don't get involved with that for a lot of different reasons. One, I don't want to end up making the bet of the century and then losing the house. We find that hard to explain.
But that's the other maniac.
Huh?
That's the other maniac.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want to ever go down that road.
Right?
I'm not very lucky when it comes to gambling, but I can see how it happens too. And I was just curious. I thought that like you just go on the phone. I didn't know that, because God only knows, going on the computer, there's just so much more that can open up.
Dude,
than the phone.
I mean, I don't really, when I bet, it's like this weekend, I won one bet. I bet at a 6-leg parlay. It means I have 6 different bets tied to one bet, and I hit 6 out of 6. I won $250.
That's it.
Yeah, that's why I bet $25 on it.
Okay, so you won 10 times your money.
Yeah, so then I had another bet that Matt gave me, and I won 5 out of 6. I would have won $500 had I won that one. I bet a little bit more money. So you didn't
win anything on that?
That one I lost. I hit 5 out of 6. You got to hit 6 out of 6 or whatever it is on that. So I do it. I keep it tight and small. I'm probably up a few $100s. I don't do it constantly. The weekend before I lost a few bucks. I said I'm taking the weekend off. But it is too easy. And if I have no influence now, if I'm a guy who likes the action, like some of these guys do, you could literally sit in your house, sit in your car, go in the bathroom, and bet. And you could bet on. I'm telling you, you could bet on anything. 2 fat kids chasing a butterfly down a hill in Australia. You can place a bet on who wins, the butterfly or the fat kids.
I think Frank Catalano has some inside information.
Why don't bet? Yes, do not bet on the Hard Rocket Sports team.
I saw your positioning in there, and I was actually kind of shocked, taken back. Like, what happened, man?
Well, here's what. So Malik Neighbors has been out. So that was my number one pick. He's out but it's been out most of the year. Joe Burrow went down quick, although Baker Mayfield's had a good year. I can't argue about that. Mm-hmm. Chris Godwin's been out more than he's been in. Waller played this week, got 0 points. I mean,
Waller's on the IR.
Well, he just went on it, but I'm saying it. So, my running backs have done absolutely nothing all season. It just everybody's either hurt or not doing anything. And then this week I was down 60 or 70 points going into Monday night. I got it to within. I lost Jeff. I got it to within 20 points, but I still lost. So listen, all I can do is put the best team out there possible and see where it goes. We lost Jeff. We'll see if he gets back. If not, we're going to end the show. But, listen, it's hold on. Yeah, I don't know what happened to you.
So what happened to me is I went to mine. So I can tell you a move that I did.
Go ahead.
And I had to pick up a quarterback today because all my quarterbacks were off. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what's going on with Lamar Jackson.
He's not. I don't think he's playing this week, but go ahead.
Well, thank God I had to pick up somebody. I'm like, who am I going to pick up?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'll go after Joe Flacco. Because I meant to do it earlier in the week. And, of course, Joe Flacco was gone.
Right.
So I ended up, I took the best player available, which was Spencer Rattler. He's supposed to get 30.77 points.
Yeah.
I don't see it, but he's better than, what I have was nobody because what's his face is off. I got Matthew Stafford. He's a bye week. Geno Smith. I ended up dropping him. Mm-hmm. I know that he's going to go on a fucking tear now. You watch. He'll be getting 75 points a week.
Yeah, listen. I've had no luck this year. Everybody's out. Don't. My backup is Michael Penix, who's had an okay season. I haven't used him. I used Baker's had a great season. So I haven't lost anything because of my quarterback. But Garrett Wilson, I've got Garrett Wilson and Malik Neighbors are my 2 starting wide receivers. I should be having a breakout year. Yeah, Malik's out for 4 weeks now, and Garrett Wilson's got Justin Fields throwing the football. Guess who's not scoring points?
Yeah, last week, right? I had a guy 47.80 points.
Wow.
You know who that was?
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs. I know all about it. Yeah, go scratch your ass. Go scratch your ass. Yeah. I know all about it. Believe me. But so no matter what I do, guys have been out. I've got a decent team, but Wilson don't score points. Godwin's been out all year. Neighbors is gone. I start Wan'Dale Robinson and I sit my tight end on the Giants. He gets 18 points. I start the tight end, sit Wan'Dale Robinson. He scores 19 points. I just can't pick it right. No matter what I do, I can't pick it.
I've been there, did it. I hear you.
Yeah, so it is what it is, and we just keep fighting every week. And
this fucking guy, he has 4 quarterbacks. This motherfucker.
Yes. He tried to sell me Daniel Jones early in the season, and I thought about it, but I was like, I already got Joe Burrow and I got Baker. I don't need a quarterback. So, but maybe
I wouldn't do business with him anyway. Fuck him.
I don't blame you. He's a snake oil salesman.
Yeah, that, and he'd only deal with you if he needed something.
Correct. Yeah, he's not doing the other kind of his heart.
No,
not at all. Not at all.
He should be investigated.
I would. You know what? I'm gonna have to start as commissioner of the league. I'm gonna have to start an investigation.
I'm
gonna have to start one now. I'll have to reach out to my co-commissioner Frank Jeffrey, and we'll have to start a
fucking hang him.
Guilty. Guilty. Get the rope and find a tree.
Where's the tree? Where's the horse? Fucking hang him.
So, but so and again, there's a lot going on. We got the NBA kicking off. The Rangers are terrible. Let's see. We talked about the Dolphins real quick. To me, I don't ever really believe in firing coaches in the middle of the season. It's a waste of time. I thought the Jets did a terrible job firing Saleh in the middle of the year, did nothing for them. I do believe that the Dolphin coach needs to get fired because that team is ready to implode. I could see that, but yeah, definitely without a doubt. I would fire him. I don't think that the Jets should fire Aaron Glenn. I think they should give him a second year. Absolutely.
The right players in place or just at least try to get the right players in place. But this guy from fucking the Dolphins, he's got to go.
Oh yeah. It's I would agree with you on Glenn. You can't get rid of him. I also think he's got to get better at X's and O's, but I do think he deserves another year, and they do have to get better. But let's be fair. He chose Justin Fields. Like, this wasn't a guy who they took off the scrap heap. They went out and he was a free agent on day one of free agency. Him and the GM ran and signed Justin Fields. So he's got to live with the fact that that's the guy he chose.
Listen, I'm not arguing.
And I don't even have a problem with him, pissing on Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't have brought Aaron Rodgers back either. So I'm with him on that move. It hasn't worked out. He looks like he's reborn with the Steelers.
Yeah, but hard to argue that.
But I don't blame him for that. But he's got to eat the fact that he's the guy who said, I want Justin Fields. There's no doubt in my mind. So
I don't think he could do that.
Yeah, but so I would definitely give him another year. I don't see any reason why they would. Again,
you know what did everybody say? Everybody said the same thing when they signed Justin Fields. All right, so they're going to use him as a running quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, he has high upside. He has a high ceiling. Maybe they could get the most out of him.
Not even close.
Defensive-minded coach is not going to fucking get the most out of a fucking.
I would agree with that.
And not even a defensive-minded coach, a guy that was a defensive star, a defensive player.
Yeah, it all, he can be a defensive coach and have the right staff to bring the best out of him. The problem, I think, is he was just bad everywhere he's been, and I don't think he'll ever. I don't care who he plays for. I don't think he's going to fix that. He's got a problem with the delivery of the football, and he doesn't get rid of it fast enough, and he makes poor decisions. But we said it before the season. We both agreed. If you go out there and you only make him throw when you want to and not when you have to, and you fill in the running with him, it may be okay. They're not doing any of that, and it's just
No.
bad to watch.
No, they're not.
Yeah, so yes, Justin Fields should. I'm sorry, Aaron Glenn does deserve to come back next year. He's got to fix his own problems beside the team problems. But the kid, Mike McDaniel's down in Miami, he should get fired right now. He's a terrible football coach. His offense is putrid, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure it's his fault, but I would bench Tua and I would play the kid Quinn Ewers and see what you got, because Tua's just been horrendous, and I can't play him anymore if I'm the Dolphins.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to disagree with that, man. Oh,
Yeah, again, Matt, I'm not disagreeing with you on any of that. I think for the Jets, though, I think if you're the Jets, you have to bring back Aaron Glenn. If you're not going to bring back Aaron Glenn, then you have to go get a veteran head coach, a guy. I think you got to find a Gruden type or somebody who's had success that brings the culture. Like if a Sean Payton was available, or if Vrabel was still available, somebody like that. You need a veteran. You can't bring in another coordinator and say, please change my culture, my team. Nobody's done it, Jeff. I mean, Gase didn't do it. Saleh didn't do it. So far, Glenn's not done it. They need to bring in a veteran guy who is going to rule the roost.
Yeah, listen, it's hard to disagree, but I mean, listen, as far as like Adam Gase, the guy's career is over, it seems, as a head coach.
Yeah.
So, like, I just don't ever see, him ever being a head coach again. I didn't want him. No. I remember Frank Jeffrey saying, "Oh, you got yourself a good coach," and I'm like, I don't know.
That's because Peyton Manning sold a bill of goods to Woody Johnson to say, he was my guy. He'll be great for you guys, and he was far from it. And again, some people are great second bananas. Not everybody's the CEO. Sometimes somebody is, the next guy down the rung, and Adam Gase may have been that guy. Pat Shermer's been that guy. He's a good offensive coordinator. He's just not a head coach of a football team. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some guys just have to realize that they've reached their point where that would be it. I would like to see Coach Lou get a head coaching job. Coach Lou. Who the hell's Coach Lou?
I have no idea who he's talking about.
You know what, the defensive guy from Staten Island? The guy who coached the Bengals defense?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah. He's talking. There's a guy who was I can't think of his last name. He was the coach for the Bengals on the defense for a couple of years, and then he got fired last year. And people were talking about he got a couple. I think he got a couple of interviews. I don't know. To me, everybody thinks everybody's a head coach. I don't know. I'm not on the staff. You kind of got to see it. Okay. Again, he may, if they have this year that they're going, he may get a chance to do it. We'll see. But for the Dolphins, fire McDaniel today. The team is going to implode. You're going to chase the fans away, unless you're just going to leave him in there, watch it burn, and then get the number one pick in the draft. And
well, they got competition for that.
Yes.
I don't think anybody. The Jets kind of right now. I know exactly what's going to happen with the Jets, and you can bank on this. They're going to win.
I know what you're going to say.
They're going to win.
Yeah, they'll win 2 games and be number 2.
Huh?
They're going to win 2 games and wind up at like number 3.
No. They're going to end up winning 5 to 6 games. They're going to do it in the second half, and they're going to win enough games where they're not going to get anything. They're not going to get anything.
Boy, oh boy, I got to tell you.
They could possibly get is going to be off the table. They're not going to get anything.
Yeah, again, I know there's a couple of good quarterbacks ready to come out. I agree with Matt. I don't know. I don't see anybody that's coming in next year to change the world. But then I didn't think Jackson Dart would be this good this early. I never would have bought it. I thought he was going to be a good quarterback. I liked it to pick. I love it.
Is Jackson Dart that good, or is Jackson Dart good because of who was there before him? That
no, he's good.
Russell Wilson is just done.
No, he's good. You watch him play. He's smart. He's too aggressive a little bit, but he can throw the football. He's not afraid to throw the football. And no, he's a good quarterback. It's not a question of he's better than the last guy or the last 2 guys. He's actually a decent. He's actually going to be a very good quarterback. I don't know for how long, if he doesn't stop, or if he'll ever win a Super Bowl. But he's a legit NFL quarterback. It's a good pick. It was a good pick, but I never thought he'd be this good. I don't see any of those guys coming out that are going to be lighting the world on fire. But there are some good quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, look, you know what? Already the one from Penn State, whatever, I forget his name.
Yeah.
Hurt, so he's out till next year.
Yeah, and he took a tumble in the draft. He would have took a tumble because last year, if he came out, he might have creeped into one of the first picks. He's a good quarterback, but he had a rough end of the season and went back, and then he got hurt. So,
Matt, you listen right here, bro. The Jets will end up winning 5 games. They're going to end up being right on the outer ring, the outer cusp of getting anybody somewhere decent as a quarterback. I promise you that.
Well,
I will meet you and take you for a steak dinner, pay for it, go eat in the car if you want. I don't care. That's how positive I am. They're going to win just enough games to not even have a crack at a top 5 quarterback. I promise.
It's listen. I can't argue it. I can't argue it.
Remember the one year they were like up there? They were going to get the first pick in the draft, and they ended up winning 2 of their last 3 games, and they want to end up like number 4 or 5 in the draft or something stupid like that.
Yes,
they beat the Rams and somebody else.
Anything's possible, but I will be here for that draft. If they draft anything else but a quarterback, they will burn the stadium down. I will tell you that much. Jeff said it all.
I firmly believe that, Frank. You could laugh all you like. The Jets ain't going to win anything until Satan has Joe Willie's soul. And even then, death plus 100 years. It's got to be. It has to be.
Oh boy! Well, listen, it's been fun. There's a lot to get to. We got big games this weekend. We got some big games coming this weekend. Do I have this weekend slate of games? Hold on, let me tell you. I'll give you my thoughts quickly on the games this weekend. Which ones are the ones you got to keep an eye on? Let's see. This Sunday, Giants at Philly, good game. Jets at Cincinnati, terrible. Buffalo, Carolina may actually be a decent game. The Bears at the Ravens, not sure. Cleveland at New England big. Miami, Atlanta, go to sleep, don't watch it. San Francisco, Houston, don't bother. Tampa, New Orleans, don't bother. Dallas and Denver, maybe a good football game. Tennessee, Indianapolis, forget it. And Green Bay, Pittsburgh, should be a good game. And Aaron Rodgers gets to play against his former team. So, interesting.
Aaron Rodgers announced that he wants to retire a Green Bay Packer.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Come on.
Yes, he did. Aaron Rodgers announced that he wants to retire ceremoniously a Green Bay Packer.
Yeah, so he'll retire. He'll do sign a 1-day contract and retire as a Green Bay Packer, which I would agree with. Listen,
they all do that.
Yeah, he's associated with the team. That's who he decides to go. That's who he should go out with. He should not be remembered for his Jet experience. That's for sure. And in Pittsburgh, he's playing well. I mean, will they win a Super Bowl? I don't think so, but he's at least put a good showing. If I were him, and I could go out on this, regardless of win or lose, he should put his good season in and then go sign his contract with the Green Bay Packers and retire. That would be my thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that'll be our show for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for staying around and hanging with us. It's been a blast. Thank God Jeff finally got on.
Yeah, this fucking computer.
Just remember, folks, we are 1 full week away from Halloween. I'm not a Halloween fan, could care less. But November 1st means what, Jeff?
Day after Halloween.
The start of the Christmas season. The start of the Christmas season.
So I got some bad news for you. Christmas season has already started here, somewhat. Okay, I'll show you some of the things that I have. Like right here is the Peanuts Lucy psychiatric booth.
Nice, very nice.
We got that. We got this. We got Snoopy Doghouse.
Nice.
Okay. Plus, I have other. It's buried by the Peanuts Halloween stuff. I got a downstairs. I showed you the stuff that I got. Right.
Yes.
Peanuts,
yes.
2 new things.
Yep.
Let's see what else they got this year.
Well, yeah. Well, but for me, November 1st means the start of the Christmas season and officially playing Christmas music in my car as I drive home to and from work. And
have you started that yet or no?
I have not. I have Christmas music on my Amazon account now. I have a whole thing. I will tune into Sirius and their stations, and in between listening to my political stuff and a little bit of sports, I will narrow out some time each day to listen to Christmas music because I love it, and I'll watch my Christmas movies and all that stuff, and we will celebrate Christmas right here as we do all the time. But November 1st to me is the official start to Christmas and Christmas, the Christmas holiday. So get ready. Matt, he does retire. I think he wanted to come back and make one more season. He'd have to be brain damaged to think he could do this again next year. He'd have to be brain damaged if he thought he could come back next year and do it again. So, no, I think he has a good season. Maybe they make the playoffs, and he goes out that way. I think he didn't want to go out with the Jets that way, and that's what I'll tell you.
He knew what was going to happen. He wasn't stupid.
Yeah, so to me, no doubt in my mind, he's done after this year. I don't think he wanted to play this year, but he didn't want to end his career with the Jets and have that be his legacy. This is going to be his legacy, that he went out. He's still a Packer, and all the great things he accomplished there won't be taken away. But he wants the last thing to be, what you're seeing right now is him playing good football and being, drama-free. So, yeah, that's my opinion. But again, we'll be back next Thursday on Halloween Eve. I don't care for Halloween. I don't, other than the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, which I will see if it's on regular TV, which it probably
it's not on regular TV. You got to get it on Apple TV.
Yeah, which is sad, which is definitely sad. So,
well, it's sad because evidently you don't have Apple TV.
I don't have Apple TV.
I have Apple TV thanks to somebody else paying for it, so it's all right with me.
Yeah, I have enough streaming services. I'm not paying for Apple TV, so I don't. But I will find the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown someplace and watch it. I hope you guys will too. But I hope you'll come back and watch us next week when Jeff and I get together.
Do you carve a pumpkin?
I do not. I don't celebrate Halloween at all. I think it's the worst. Unless you got little kids or you're demented, I don't understand celebrating Halloween.
Well, it's not so much that I celebrate Halloween. I mean, I got lights on in the windows, of the house. I put the orange lights up because to me, Halloween, whether you want to admit it or not, is the first, in a series of holidays.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Actually, let's back it up a little bit, it kind of starts with Labor Day. If you think about it, you got your last summer barbecue, all that other shit. Okay, then you got, you go into October, you got Columbus Day, which nobody celebrates, and that's fine. Yep. Then you got Halloween because now there's a show on for Halloween. Charlie Brown is the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, and more people are putting lights up for Halloween. Then the Halloween stuff comes down, and then sooner or later, people start putting up their Christmas lights.
Yep.
Then it's they'll tell, well, it's still warm out, so I put up the Christmas lights now, so I'm not going to be out there in the cold and doing it. So it starts off the Halloween kind of kicks off the holiday season.
I agree. Listen, I'm totally agree with you.
And crisp now, thank God, finally.
I totally agree. That's why I say November 1st, the Christmas season has officially begun. We still let everybody celebrate their Halloween, throw their eggs, get their candy, eat it up, and then come, November 1st. To me, I'm in full holiday mode. I
got this. I've had this in this plastic bag for years. Oh. It's one of those old time Halloween pumpkins, candles.
Yeah.
And of course, I will never light it because I found it. And then I got some other stuff here too. I got on the desk.
But to me, I love Thanksgiving. To me, Thanksgiving is one of the best days of the year because it's all about food, football, and family, and it's just great. I love Thanksgiving. I love Christmas, but Christmas is about a total time. Like Christmas is 2 months long. Thanksgiving's one day, and it's just kind of a road bump in the way to Christmas. What? Nothing better than November 1st to January 2nd. It's just my favorite time of the year. I love being in the city during it.
Why January 2nd?
Because that's when basically, to me, it's over. You get January 1st, you wake up, and then January 2nd, you wake up when I go to work, and it's the holiday season's officially over.
Yeah, but you don't go till Little Christmas?
Yeah, I leave the tree up and all that, but it's not the same. Like to me, it kind of the stamp is put on it, and it's over. It's like everything in the city comes down. People aren't paying attention to it anymore. They stop playing Christmas music on the radio. It's all gone. So to me, I take that 2 months and I savor every one of them because I love the holiday season. Even the homeless got lights on them, and they put the hats on them. Yeah, it's great. It's great. They decorate all the homeless people in the city now. All the little hypodermics sticking out of their arms have little characters on them. It's great. You love it. It's the best. So thank God. I can't wait till Zoran's in. It's really going to be good. It's really going to be fun. Yeah. So anyway, but I hope you guys will come back and help us start with our Christmas Eve. Our Halloween Eve special next week. And what's special about it? I don't know. We're just going to be on the air talking about Christmas, and we'll start talking about our favorite Christmas movies, and we'll have the debate of all debates. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And yes, it is, Frank Catalano. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. There it is. Official. Thank you. Nothing to say?
What's that? Nah, I'm losing. I'm not losing yet, but my team is not doing well.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, listen, we're going to end it right there. Thank you for all tuning in tonight, Matt, Frank, and everybody who popped up. Much appreciated. We'll see you guys next week when we do it all over again. So please make sure you come back. And remember, have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great next week. And come on back and celebrate Halloween Eve with me and Jeff right here on the Hard Rock and Sports Show. So for Jeff, myself, and everybody at the Hard Rock and Sports Show, have a great week, guys. And we'll see you Thursday night. Jeff, I will talk to you off the air. Good night, Frankie.
You got it, man. See you later, Frank.
Good night, Frank.
Bye.